Hello, everyone, and welcome to Office Hours. I am not Mary Poplin. So we're breaking format a little bit today. Usually this is the section where Mary would, take apart a shot, look at all of your questions and chat to you for about an hour. We're not going to be doing that today because this is going to be Mary's last Office Hours. So we're going to be breaking format and actually just bringing in some of the Mocha team, people who've worked with Mary for many, many years, and just going to share some stories and talk a little bit about the past, the present, and the future as well. So we also want to hear from you. We are live. We are reading the chat. I especially am reading the chat. So I know that people are asking, is this live? Yes, we are. So, if you've got any questions or, that you've got for Mary, you just want to say goodbye, then please drop them in the chat as well. I'll be joined by lots of different people today. We're going to be starting, actually, we'll start in New York. We're going to be joined from New York by Mr. Ross Shane. Hello, Ross.
Hey, Ben. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too as well. We do these quite often, but never quite in this format.
Yeah, this will be an interesting hour or so, or to talk a little bit about our friend and colleague Mary. It's quite bittersweet for me, but I'm really glad just to have the opportunity to wish her off well.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I'm going to keep joining. I'm going to bring everyone in, and we'll have a nice big chat. We're coming from the UK. We have JP Smith, if that is indeed your real name, from the Mocha UK office. Hello, JP.
Hi, Ben. Hi, everyone. Great to be here.
Excellent. Thank you very much for joining us as well. We've got a lot of stories to come from you as well, I'm sure. Yeah, I know really maybe a quarter of them, if that.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. And also have a very special guest, someone who we don't normally see, coming from what I like to call the land down under. And I made this up. This is no one's ever said this before. We have Martin Brennan, who is the Mocha product manager. Hello, Martin.
Hello. Yes, Mary and I, friends first, colleagues second, but yes, it'll be an interesting time without you.
Indeed. But let's not actually pretend that this is a wake or a funeral. We actually do have the person herself. This is a nice little celebration. So there's going to be big emotions, but it's a celebration at heart. So I'd like to say thank you and hello, Mary Poplin. Welcome to Office Hours.
Yeah, welcome to Office Hours. This is weird to hand it off, but here we are.
That's not me, Brian. That's not me.
That's my first of many.
Very good. Very good. All right. Yeah, no, this is really good. I really don't want to, I don't want to be sad about it. It's a great next step. It's a little bittersweet. I'm gonna try not to cry. Nobody cry. You're not allowed to cry. And
promise nothing.
I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, this will be fun and absolutely shenanigan free. I'm sure.
Oh yes, absolutely. And helping to keep it shenanigan free. From Boston, we have Mr. Brian Fox, who is probably going to be. He can cut to himself. Excellent. Hello, Brian.
Uh-oh. Off to a rocky start. Mary, I apologize, but it is on brand for us to break in some brand new live streaming software during your last stream. So this is going to be rife with issues.
Well, hopefully we can hear everyone though. So that's I think that's the main thing. Hopefully.
We'll see. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. It's going to be like really sort of informal, but I think it's probably a good idea to sort of just talk about where we've come from. I mean, Mary's been with the company, well, with Imagineer, with Mocha for over 12 years now.
Yeah.
So, like, I think if maybe we'll head off to JP and Ross and just talk about the early days of Imagineer, like just prior to Mary as well.
Ross, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I'll kick it off, but feel free to interrupt me. Yeah, so I joined Imagineer, God, 14, 15 years ago. At the time, the products were not even called Mocha. We had products called Moki, Monet. We were basically a very, very small software company. We were not the Adobes of the world or the Foundries. Actually, this is before the Foundry even was really the Foundry. They were basically their only product was called Tinder Tools at the time, right? Yeah. So, anyways, we're quite a small team, and we hired Martin, our friend Martin from Australia. Yeah, he actually was living in the UK at the time as our product specialist, and at this time, I'm trying to remember, like 12, 13 years ago, I mean, the whole world of reaching the customers this way was not really as much of a thing. I mean, it was beginning, but, I'm sure you all remember that the quality of YouTube tutorials, even just like the, getting good audio, getting good video, all that kind of stuff was just, it wasn't as, as easy back then. Anyways, we met Martin, who joined our team for about a year. He lived in the UK, right, Martin?
That's right. Yeah.
At some point, I think you decided that you're ready to return to your home in Australia, and that you're going to kind of shift roles a little bit. So we needed to hire a new employee. We basically wanted to hire someone in the US, but we definitely were looking for someone in California because that's where the majority of the studios were. And so Martin was kind of in an interesting work situation. Maybe Martin could elaborate, or JP, but I think Martin, you ended up living in Los Angeles for a couple of months, right?
That's right. Yeah. So we had a sort of interesting time, and I'll give a little bit of a preamble to this, is that we'd been back to the US a couple of times, and we'll talk about an interesting story about that later. But yeah, the second time I was there, I was staying there for a while, and I was mixed accommodation at the time, and we'd known Mary for about a year there, and this is before we'd even were talking about Mary coming into Imagineer. And I ended up essentially sleeping on your couch for a little while.
A while, yeah. Like, you're a great roommate.
I was crossing between two things. So we sort of knew Mary already quite well from a previous incident, which I'll talk about now, which was that. So every year, obviously, we went to NAB in Vegas, and one year the Icelandic volcano, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, erupted over Europe, and no one could fly anywhere for a while. So JP and I decided we didn't want to stay in Vegas for 2 weeks, so we drove down to LA to see some clients, and that's probably the first time we met Mary. Working somewhere else. We got to know her pretty well after that, and so yeah, was hanging around for a while there, and Mary's got some interesting stories around that, I'm sure.
A few.
And then later on I was staying there, and then ended up staying with her. So yeah, it was an interesting start before Mary had even joined with us. Mary was extremely accommodating to my stuck situation.
Yeah. So from my perspective, that story is, and I guess we had said we'll tell the story. So when I first met Martin, I was working at a stereo house, and I was working really long hours. It was like just when stereo was booming. And I was working super, super long hours. And Martin had come to do a demo. I already knew how to use the software. we got to talking, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to go get a beer?" I was like, "Yeah, you seem like a cool guy. Let's go get some beer." So, we went and got some beer. We talked for a little while. He's a total nerd, which is great because I'm also a total nerd. And I was actually going over to a friend's house, a friend and her partner's house, and we were going to play video games and I think board games. And I called him. I was like, "Hey, so I just met this cool Australian person. I'm going to go ahead and bring him by because he's, by himself in LA, and that kind of stinks. So let's welcome him." And so we played video games and got to know one another. And then, like, I guess a couple of weeks later, I think it was Valentine's Day actually, and you're like, "Hey, do you want to go grab some dinner?" Like, meanwhile, I have like a partner, like I was like, "Yeah, let's go grab some dinner." Like, and in my head, I'm like, "I really like this person. Like, please don't girlfriend zone me," like. And so we went to dinner, and he's like, "So I have something like really, really important to ask you." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you have to ask me?" He's like, "Are you looking for work?" And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh, that's so much better." Like, yes. And then I applied. So, anyway.
Yeah, I think that that goes to show, just sort of like, it's really interesting to show how what a giving, open person Mary is. That Martin basically met Mary at a facility, and she was like, "Yeah, yes, you can sleep on my floor." And I think that was just really our first sort of like how JP and I first learned about Mary. We were like, "Martin, you're sleeping on this person's floor," but yeah. So we I think JP and I both interviewed Mary a couple times, online at the point, and JP's in London, I'm in New York, and we ended up hiring Mary, but we didn't actually get to meet her in person until NAB, which was like, our annual trade show. So it was just really, really interesting because we knew from Martin that Mary had been, using Mocha in a facility professionally, and that she was a really great artist, but we had never actually seen her do any training. We had never seen her on camera. We had no idea what kind of personality she would actually, have in front of people. And then I don't know, JP, maybe, I remember you and I looking at each other at Mary's first trade show demo. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to mention that one of the things that I really miss from going to trade shows with Mary is sort of the Mary Poplin effect on the trade show booth. That, when there could be nobody sitting there, and then Mary will start demoing, and then within no time at all, the booth will be absolutely packed full of people. And, when she's finished, there'll be a line of people waiting to ask questions and this kind of thing. And yeah, the huge amount of energy and flair that she brings to those situations was really fantastic.
That's really sweet.
And also just being able to roll with it as well. So my favorite part was actually the first demo that Mary ever had to do, which is we saw a client in LA, and it was actually Mary's first day on the job. And we were talking about a technical issue at this studio, and I said, "Mary can show you how to do that." and you just went, "Can I?" And to your credit, you showed them exactly how to fix the problem, and they were extraordinarily grateful immediately. So you just dived in with me, throwing you out of the branches into the role, because you'd been professionally using it for many years by that point, as I recall. So like it was easy for you to switch very quickly from an artistic role into an explanatory support role without even a blink. It was great.
It's lovely that you think that I've been using it for years. I'd actually been using it for about 6 months.
Intensely.
Yeah, my friend David Shorey actually taught me how to do it. He we were at this stereo company, and he was like, "Mary, why aren't you using Mocha to rotor this?" And he said it in such a way that was like, you silly person, And I was like, I don't know, smarty pants. Why don't you sit down and show me? And he showed me, and I was just like, oh my God, why am I not using Mocha to rotor this shot? And so I started using it, and I started using Mocha as well for paint work. And by the time you came, I was pretty well versed in it because, whereas had been using it for about 6 months, I definitely had the man hours under my belt because we were using it every single day, all day. So it was pretty interesting.
And I think, Mary, I think that really came through, for me and JP when we saw you use the tools in front of people and your ability to relate to people, and like you're sort of like a natural troubleshooter, right? So like it just sort of, it really worked for us, and we're also obviously in the visual effects post industry. There's a lack of women, represented, so we really, we're happy to have you on board in that sense. But then with all your eccentricities and your live action role playing history and costume making and all the kind of geeky, dorky lovableness about you, it really just all fit for us.
I am a huge nerd.
I mean, that's something that I just wanted to talk a little bit about as well. And this is because I knew Mary as a friend for very many years before we were actual, official colleagues. We met at trade shows and did demos and things and just hung out there. But the thing that I really appreciated the most about Mary is that there was no topic and no hobby that was too geeky. And it was amazing. It's like we've had things, we had conversations about LARPing when LARPing wasn't really, a big thing. We had huge appreciation nights about the hurdy-gurdy before anyone had heard a hurdy-gurdy. And just, taxidermy. There's literally no hobby that you can out nerd Mary on, and it's absolutely fantastic. And that's always been my my amazing thing, is that I've always got someone to go to when I hear this sort of new thing, think, oh, this is excellent. Okay, who is going to be as enthusiastic about this as I am? And it's always going to be Mary P.
Oh gosh, I'm actually just starting the taxidermy thing. We had been collecting. Me and my daughter have been collecting bugs because I moved back to the South to be closer to family, and me and my daughter have been collecting bugs. And I don't know if any of y'all have been to the South, but when you've been to the South, I mean, I know some of you on the call have, but I'm talking to the people watching. It's real humid here. It's like a subtropical rainforest kind of thing. So the bugs get real big. So we made like some bug dioramas and stuff like that. And then last summer she found a little dead mammal and was like, so I want to do like what we did with the bugs with this, and she's like 4 at the time. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're just going to totally do that. Sure. Why not? And it's not the first time I've done that kind of thing. And I'm trying to start taking classes, but it's a pretty bizarre thing. And I think a lot of people are not into it, but I love, like, when you're done, you have this like beautiful sculpture of an animal, and you can use it for art reference. You can use it to appreciate the creature. And as long as they, died in a sustainable way, it's kind of beautiful. Also creepy.
Definitely not creepy. Definitely, it's not creepy. It's about how you present it. I suppose if you're putting it in a murder room, maybe it could be a little bit creepy.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of trophies.
No, especially not humans anymore. Some call it the greatest hunt.
Yeah.
Or the most dangerous game.
I gave up on that.
Can we move? Let's shift topics away from hunting people. I just want to pop back. Like, Mary, you've been with Mocha obviously for many years, and you were there when obviously, as we see in this picture, like picking up the sort of technical Emmy, followed by putting on a paper crown.
Okay, so that, like, okay.
I couldn't resist that.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Come on.
Yeah, so
that
picture is everybody was in town, and we were down in Anaheim for SIGGRAPH, and in Anaheim is this night show, and you can go and you dress up, wear crowns, and you pick your night, and they battle on this big arena, and you like tear apart a chicken with your hands and drink beer. It's a lot of fun. And we were trying to figure out where to go to dinner, and we usually have these bills like for dinner at shows that are pretty high, and this was like honestly fairly moderate, and you got a whole meal and a show with it. So I talked everybody into going to this night show, and it was super fun. It's called Medieval Times, and if you have not been, it's a blast. And yeah.
Other medieval themed nights are available. Please ask at your local office.
Yeah, but the award shows were fun though.
Let's talk a bit more about that. I mean, there's a huge glitz and glamour to them. But let's talk. I mean, do you have any sort of memories of picking up the, first picking up the Academy Award or the Emmy there?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So when we won the Academy Award, they were everybody was, JP and Ross were going to come out to Los Angeles and go to the show, and I was like, so I just want you to know, if y'all go to the show in Los Angeles and you don't take me, I'm never speaking to you again. and they let me get a ticket, and I came along with my my now husband, and we had a great time. But I held the, I got pictures of me with the Academy Award and everything, even though it's for the team, and obviously, JP and Ross's names on it, not mine. But I sent that picture to my grandmother, and she told every single person in my small town that I won an Academy Award, which is a blatant lie, but but one that's very popular in town, in my teeny tiny town. Excellent.
There's obviously a lot of love going on in this room here as well. I just want to bring in a couple of things from the chat as well, because there are lots of people in here all wishing you well. I wish we can't read out specific comments, but I can give a nice list of names so far, which we have Ashk P, Mouse Musician Andre S, Leah S, Films Flexony, Dharma Dontos 1-0, Elizabeth P, Cesar V, Joey M, Peter M, Alonso P, Jesse P, Visual Elements, Torsten M, and Shane D. Shane's just gone. Bye, Shane. But like all of these people have been sort of sending a lot of love to you in the chat, thanking you so much for all the help you've done, not just with the tutorials, but your work on the forums as well. Really taking people's shots and when they're really, really desperate and actually need the help, and helping them out when they absolutely need it. And that work is definitely appreciated, and it's appreciated here inside the team, and I'm sure it's going to be appreciated in the future as well, where your travels lead you.
Yeah, well, it's good travels. I'm not going far.
You're not going far. That's true. You're not going far. Do you want to just say where you're going?
Yeah, I'm heading over to the Frame.io team over at Adobe, and I'm going to start being a solutions consultant, which is basically kind of what I do now, but for a slightly different bit of software. But it's it's find problems and fix them for people. Okay, that sounds like me. So that's what I'm doing.
It really does. It really does. Martin, you've been quiet for too long. Come with another Mary anecdote.
Gosh, I was trying to think of the many things, especially with conferences and things. Although my entirely unrelated to Mocha, but again a conference thing is that we all know Mary has a very powerful voice, but one of my favorite memories is Mary, myself, and JP, and someone else was there, just harmonizing Snow Patrol in a taxi to an event. So we got it. We actually it might have been slightly inebriated, but I think we all actually sort of managed to get in key. It was absolutely lovely. But yes, no, Mary has a very lovely. Mary also used to, and some of you will have heard this in some of the live streams before, in some of the conference ones, is that if there are technical issues, Mary would sing to fill the gaps.
Yes.
Quite elegantly, like usually with some kind of elevator music, which was very appreciated.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to I don't actually I do have one in front of me, but the favorite demo that everyone used to do, which was talking about using the Wacom tablet to find the planar surface. Like that, the visual cue that of Mary doing the planar surface with the Wacom tablet in so many demos to explain to people how planar tracking worked was, a stroke of genius. Using the cues and the props around you just to immediately describe something without just waving hands around was extraordinarily well done, because it made sense. There are pixels moving in relation to each other, and what's better than a plane than a Wacom tablet sitting right in front of you?
Oh yeah. It's well, I mean, I think that comes from improv, and actually part of that comes from the LARP nonsense, because LARP is improv, and you want to say yes and yes but a lot, and you want to use what's around you and improvise to what's happening. And I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about this position is my special interest is people. I like to connect to people, and I like to build community. And I mean, that's putting it mildly, but I really like to interact with people. And one of the ways you make people feel heard is you improvise with them when they're talking to either repeat what they're saying and let them know that you understand, or explain something in a new way when they don't understand. And I really think that LARP and improv helped with that. And Martin, you do improv.
Yeah. It's very, very, that's how I get my work done. Improvisation is a very, very good skill when you're doing support and demos, because everything and anything will go wrong. So you need to be able to jump on the fly, and especially and again, Mary is extraordinarily good at this, is someone will throw a curveball in there and say, what if you did this? And you just have to go, let's find out.
Yeah. What if you do this? Will it break? Let's see. It's probably going to break. Let's go.
Let's find out together.
Now, I want to throw over to Mission Control if we had, because we haven't really heard from Mission Control at the moment. Brian, you've spent time with Mary and lived to tell the tale.
You haven't heard from me because I'm just panicking left and right, trying to figure out what we're doing here. No, but in all seriousness, Mary and I, obviously, we did a bunch of trade shows together. There's no one you want to share a booth with more than Mary Poplin. For single most, I will say, in all honesty, she is fearless. We threw so many things at her. I don't know why I'm talking about you like you're in the abstract. We threw things at you, right? Just go up and get on stage with Andrew Kramer you tomorrow. Right? Go, right? No problem. Speak about this, speak about that. Talk to a room of no one for 45 minutes.
That's hard.
Maybe they will come. If you just start talking. Let's start live streaming from your garage.
Oh, yeah.
And what I love about you is you never say no, right? You just say, okay, we'll figure it out. No attitude. How about this story? You probably don't even remember this, but when we went to SIGGRAPH together, I had to print a big, a 10 by 10 banner, right? For us to start behind. There is no one less qualified to design for print than myself. So I believe I started in Photoshop, and eventually I remember talking to Ross, and Ross was like, you just can't do that. You just can't. You need to go into Illustrator. So I took Ross's design and modified it. And at some point, I remember, we were in LA, and I had the big banner up behind us, and I remember chewing them out, being like, oh, look at this quality. It's just so garbage. I can see there's a little bit of, white type over there. And you just very, very politely and kindly said, that actually says lorem ipsum. Sure. And you were like, it's fine. I've known this for days. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, but you absolutely could have taken a different approach, or like, would that have been rightfully so? But I appreciate that. But yeah, snacks in the booth, nonstop, no food. You show up with enough for everyone. Wasabi peas, pretzels, waters. You're definitely the mother we needed for all those trade shows, and I'm terrified to see what'll happen without you. Maybe it just won't happen. But
it's gonna have to be your own mom's. Gonna have to be your own mom,
yes,
friend.
I don't know if we're ready.
We did quite a bit of steaming those banners to, our backdrops for those shows. Because again, we're not, we've never been a huge company, and we're very much always been a do-it-yourself kind of company. So like, whether it was me and JP and Mary, or whoever was going to these trade shows, we would be on the floor literally like steaming the banner the night before, and scrambling and making those late night runs to all the different stores to buy whatever little bits we forgot or things that broke and all that.
Remember when the booth flooded?
Yeah.
At NAB a couple of years ago, the booth flooded. A sprinkler above the booth broke and flooded our booth and our carpet and everything. It was a disaster. Oh well.
But do you remember when JP got food poisoning one year at a customer visit, and Mary basically made him come back to her house so that she could make him soup.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But I think every time I went to Mary's house, I had to be fed a lot.
Yeah, I am from the South. Sorry. Like, it's cultural. You just got to be fed. If you're sick, you got to get fed. If you're tired, you got to get fed. Fixes everything.
Always on time. Always great attitude, no matter how late we were out the night before. Like, never worried about you. Can't say that about everybody. So maybe some people on this call just didn't show up.
I remember one night it was I was saying it's fixing to be like really late, and we had walked for some reason, I think because everybody was not in their right mind, and we did not get back to the tiny little rundown hotel we stayed in Vegas every year until 5 a.m, and like my alarm went off 2 hours later. I woke up and I was like, well, it is an Afrin, it is a Visine, it is a tons of water and several caffeine drinks, and we are going to be a human being today.
Gotta make it work.
Yeah. But usually the end of NAB, I was running on fumes.
Oh yeah, as we all were. But you never showed it, excellent with customers. I definitely learned that from you, how to deal with a difficult customer, how to deal with someone who is having issues and coming in and, calming them down, solving issues, dealing with someone who wants a demo 5 minutes before a 4-day trade show ends. Says, show me everything.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
They're like playing the bagpipes and they're still there.
Yeah, absolutely. Construction is happening. And you are showing the remove module. So no, that was always impressive. But yeah, definitely. I can't think of anything we threw at you that, you didn't say, yep, let's figure it out. And that's the best thing I can ask for.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, I think when people are angry, they just want to hear that, like, you understand that they're angry and you understand their problem, So, I mean, we know when we have something going on that can be frustrating to users. So it doesn't cost much to say like, yeah, you're right. That's really frustrating. So how would you fix the problem? Because we're going to take that back to our dev team, and I think that diffused like a lot of situations because people were just totally deflated. They'd be on this like fixing to go into a tirade. They'd be like, I'm sorry. Did you say, how can we help? Yeah. How can we help?
Yeah. At the end of the day, people just want to be heard. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and Mary, I think we all appreciate you've been the face, for all of us, behind the scenes for many years. And I think that's definitely one of the reasons why the customer base and all the Mocha users over the years are so, appreciative of all the work and everything you've done, is because you've always been so approachable and you've showed them that you cared and everything. So, obviously, thank you.
This is a love fest. I don't know how to handle it.
It is. Well, let's take a quick moment away from the love fest to show some pre-recorded love.
Oh, very good.
That has
And
been
can I preface this for
please.
1 second, Ben? Which is I just want to say that this was cut in about an hour. There's lots of footage to look at. There's God, I don't know how many videos Mary did over the years, probably close to 100 or I don't know, a lot over the years. So this was just a very, very quick little tribute to Mary's, her video footprint.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So please welcome Mary Poplin.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin.
Hi, I am Mary Poplin.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin from Boris FX.
I am Mary Poplin. I'm Imagineer Systems Product Specialist, and I'm going to try to not botch this, okay?
So let's get started. Hi, I'm Mary Poplin. I'm going to try to explain a little bit about Mocha's planar tracker.
Today we're going to be showing you how to do the Headless Horseman. Today we're going to show you how to remove a boom mic. We're going to take this older woman and we're going to do a dramatic change. We're going to go ahead and take her back about 40 years.
Say I was tracking my hand, okay?
And we're here with Freddie Wong from Rocket Jump Studios. That's an extra hour you're not spending screwing around, playing video games, or spending time on yourself.
These pixels are moving faster than these pixels, which are moving faster than these pixels.
I hope you enjoyed this video breakdown of quick ways to improve 360 footage.
I am Mary Poplin with Imagineer Systems. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Thanks so much. I'll have a wonderful day, and thanks for listening.
This is the end, so thank you for coming along on this Mocha journey with us.
That's really sweet.
Good stuff.
That's really sweet.
Love seeing those old clips.
Oh my gosh. Back when I did not know much about audio and sometimes recorded things on my phone or with a run and gun mic.
Whatever works.
Yeah, very good times. Oh my. Well, that was very sweet.
It was fun to go back through all that footage and see some of those old products. And yeah, again, like, what Brian and others were saying, you always just said yes. It's like, Mary, maybe you could, here's an idea. Why don't you shoot yourself, so that you could do a split screen? Oh, sure. Why don't you, let's do a Halloween video. You always were, you've always been so, accommodating and just like so positive, like, yeah, willing to try it. You're like, I've never shot anything, but I'll try it, and, some pretty fun results in there.
Oh yeah.
Even recently, right? Like, do something for May the 4th be with you.
Oh, yeah. my long-suffering husband.
Yeah, just go grab Shelly and just shoot some lightsabers. All right, see ya.
He builds lightsabers, so like he'll build them like he'll take the hilt and install all the electronics and stuff. So yeah, it was not a huge stretch to ask him to go out in our woods and be a Sith, but
But also to go from like getting a problem video from a customer the day before and then said, don't worry, I'll just go do a live video with this and we'll show you how to fix it. Like, yeah, it's the being on your feet so quickly and so creatively was just fantastic. Like, especially for the really hard shots where we're just going to say, no, we're just going to grind through this and show you exactly where all the problems are and how to fix them. It's just, yeah, because especially when you're doing that with like someone just turns up with a shot. Right, even in the live demo, and you just go, okay, let's plug in your USB and avoid the viruses and see what we get.
I think that was my favorite part actually about doing demos at studios is because you'd always like you'd be at the end of a demo and you'd always have like one or two artists come up and like this, please can you look at my shot? It's like yeah, let me look at it. There were definitely some shots that I solved in like 15 minutes that people had been working 2 days on, and I was just like, I am so sorry that I'm about to break your heart, that you have like wasted 2 days. And it was always almost always something like that they just didn't know, that the software could do, or they didn't see it in the shot. They didn't see like a, an occlusion, or they didn't see that the shot had lens warp on it or something, and it was just, it was a fun part, but it was also like, oh, I'm about to break your heart so bad.
I will never forget. I forget, we were somewhere in LA, and one of the first times we ever worked together doing customer demos, you showed up and I thought you were going camping. Like you had a full backpack, right? And a bag. And then I realized it was because the computer you were going to pull out was the largest thing I've ever seen. And I remember thinking in my head, like, literally, like, are there, what is happening? And then I was like, oh, okay, I see. We must get a new PC for you.
Alienware. Alienware computers, right? At the time we were doing a lot of 360 VR, right? And we needed like the beefiest laptop that was possible to do any of that those kind of demos, right?
Yeah, because otherwise it was just painfully slow.
Yeah. It was heavier than a desktop, I recall.
Yeah, no, it weighed 17 pounds.
Yeah. I should not complain.
Okay, so when I went to Germany, there were no elevators, and we would like be on like the 4th or 5th floor, and I'd be hauling this backpack full of like hard drives, that 17.5-pound computer. It was like, I was like, I am not training for the Marines. I'm a soft, flabby nerd. Like, I'm not gonna walk up 8 flights of stairs with this like 40-pound bag, and yet here I was marching up the stairs in completely inappropriate shoes and a bag that was extremely heavy. Oh. We had a demo once in Germany, and I was so jet lagged. We were in a dark theater, and it was like 80 degrees in the theater, and I am demoing, and like literally mid demo, I just like did like this on the keyboard because I was dead. I just like I literally took a nap, and then woke me up, and I was like, all right, no, I'm sorry, I was demoing. I'm like completely not 40 hours behind, But that's what happens when you schedule a demo like an hour after you get off a plane.
Mary, what happened when you went to Colombia? Wasn't some? I know. I was like, hey, Mary, there's a trade show in Colombia. Will you go? And you're like, okay.
I said I would go as long as somebody else was going that I knew, and Nick Campbell was going. So thank goodness. And Maxon was
gorilla.
Yeah. So Maxon was nice enough to send him along and sit next to me, And so we went, and the person that we were staying with was he was just a guy. He was a VFX guy, but he was just a guy. And he had us get on a bus with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment in a place where, it was more than the annual income of the place we were at. And I was like, this is not smart. Like, let's hire a taxi, And he's like, no, we're going to take the bus. So we took the bus, and we were in the middle of Bogota, and the bus is shut down because they were having a strike over wages that the bus drivers were getting. And it was like a throng of people that literally surrounded the bus. And to get on the bus, you had to cram in, you had to like run and jump basically to get in. So we got off, and Nick is taller than everybody there. So we just kind of did this little train to get out of there. And eventually we found a taxi and got home, but it was just we could have saved so much trouble if you had just ordered a taxi like I asked. That was an adventure. Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia. Sorry about that one.
Cool. We're gonna have to wrap it up a little bit now, but I want to go around the horn just one more time and just get sort of some little final thoughts before we say goodbye. Not forever, but say goodbye for Boris FX live forever.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. Okay. If I start, dripping a little bit of water out my eyes, it's just natural. It's just sweat and sadness. Right, Ross. Let's move over, and so Brian can cut away, so I can dab my eyes.
Oh, you want to come to me first? Yeah. I again, Mary, I can't thank you enough. It's been a pleasure to work with you and to see you grow over the years. And you've really been there for the customers, and you've really helped us grow. When you started with us, like I said, we were a real small company, real independent company. You know, we didn't have any awards, and we were really, in some ways, hanging on by the skin of our teeth. And you've grown with us, and you know, it's been really great to watch how your work has influenced and helped so many people around the world. And I think that, you know, that's pretty obvious just from all the you know, the thank yous that you're seeing in the chat and that we've seen over the years and all your YouTube videos and all the trade shows. So I know that we'll be in touch, so I'm not worried about that. And I know that, you know, that you'll be successful no matter what you do. So Adobe is really lucky to have you. And yeah, that's about it. You know, thank you again.
Thanks. And I think we'll carry on. Thank you. Thanks, Ross. We'll go to JP. We'll just keep going in order.
Yeah, I mean, thanks so much, Mary, for just the energy, the humanity, and, you know, dedication you've brought to everything you've done with us over the past 12 years. You know, it's been fantastic to work with you. I was sitting here thinking about so many of the times we've had on customer visits and trade shows and things like this, and it's just like a blur of like totally positive memories. So yeah, thank you so much for what you've brought to the company, the products, and the users over that time. And yeah, it's goodbye for now, but I'm sure we're going to be seeing you soon when we start into trade shows again.
I think so.
Martin.
Well, yes, that's as I said previously. I'm very glad that Icelandic volcano erupted so that we could actually meet you for the first time. And obviously, we're going to be probably chatting right after this because we talk to each other all the time outside of work as well.
We do.
But yeah, it's not going to be the same without having you in the workday every day. But it's definitely been one of the highlights of working at this company has been working with you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And as I think I'm the last one in the shot here, so I just want to say thank you very, very much as well, Mary. Like, not like we've worked on some fun stuff. We've worked on some great projects together, but the thing I'm always going to take away most is just how like unthinkingly giving you are with yourself, with your time, and just with everything, really. Like there was you're obviously known for your lovely little flower, which you have there, which you're wearing right there. And there was one where we were, I think it was at an NAB. It was. And you had a lovely little flower. So, oh, this very, very pretty little flower. And inside the flower was a spider. I believe it was a plastic spider.
It was.
But arachnophobic Ben couldn't tell the difference between a plastic spider and a real spider. And every time that I saw that flower, I would get physically unwell. And so without even thinking, you went away for 2 minutes, came back again, and then baba, spider was gone. So this sort of whole big thing of, like, you know, doing the nice little contrast between your beautiful flower and this lovely spider, this little trick, not trick, what's the word, little
allegory,
little fancy, that you were doing. You just went, nope, Ben can't handle it because of his strange brain things. So it's gone without even thinking. And you know, that just I think that just says a lot. It's like, it doesn't matter how much planning and thought you've put into something, if someone else is going to be bothered or affected by it, that's going to go, and you're going to roll with the punches and make things better for everyone who's around you.
Well, that's just good manners.
Yeah. And now you've got to cut away from me.
I'm sorry.
Never. Dear. I will never cut.
No, you have to. You have to. I wish I was joking.
Oh.
All right. Thank you, Mary, for all the hard work. it is on brand for us as a company that I threw a completely new live streaming setup in front of you on your last live stream. So thank you for bearing with that. Thank you for staying in the industry, right? Because I was so excited when we first started to work together in a 92% male industry, like to actually have someone demoing that is not of the 92%. So excited you're staying with Adobe. See you at trade shows. And most importantly, I plan on stealing snacks at future trade shows. In all seriousness, thank you for the fearless attitude, and always loved your branding. Absolutely, branded from day one, stuck with it, consistent. Love to see that. So thank you so much. Now I can go back to Ben.
I'm happy again now.
So I know some people have asked in the chat, and I don't think we have a definitive plan, right, about office hours, but we certainly do plan on keeping, some form of office hours going, probably with rotating staff, I would think. But so if anyone's, asking about that, we're certainly going to try to continue these kind of more informal training sessions that you guys have been tuning into.
That's it. And if you want to join us on the main Boris FX Live channel, we are, those are happening every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. But go to borisfxlive.com to see the schedule on that. That's definitely the best go-to place for catching up with all things live. And I think there's probably a nice place to wrap things up. Mary, the final word is over to you, please.
Well, thank you. Well, I guess this is the last time I'm saying this is Mary Poplin with Boris FX, and thanks so much for tuning in. I'm really glad that you've enjoyed it and enjoyed it. I'm losing it. I'm really glad that you've enjoyed all our training. I'm really glad that you came to say goodbye. Thank you very much. Everybody said a lot of really nice stuff, and I'm trying to hold it together, but it's really bittersweet. I'm really excited about the new opportunity, and I'm really glad to leave behind such a wonderful team that I will miss a lot. So bye.
So say we all. There we go.
Bravo. How about we play the supercut one more time? We'll go out.
I think that's a great idea. Right. Thanks everyone. We'll see you all again very soon. Bye now.
Thanks, Barry. Bye.
Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So please welcome Mary Poplin.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin.
Hi, I am Mary Poplin.
Hi, I'm Mary Poplin from Boris FX.
I am Mary Poplin. I'm Imagineer Systems Product Specialist, and I'm going to try to not botch this, okay?
So let's get started. Hi, I'm Mary Poplin. I'm going to try to explain a little bit about Mocha's planar tracker.
Today we're going to be showing you how to do the Headless Horseman. Today we're going to show you how to remove a boom mic. We're going to take this older woman and we're going to do a dramatic change. We're going to go ahead and take her back about 40 years.
Say I was tracking my hand, okay?
And we're here with Freddie Wong from Rocket Jump Studios. That's an extra hour you're not spending screwing around, playing video games, or spending time on yourself.
These pixels are moving faster than these pixels, which are moving faster than these pixels.
I hope you enjoyed this video breakdown of quick ways to improve 360 footage.
I am Mary Poplin with Imagineer Systems. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Thanks so much. I'll have a wonderful day, and thanks for listening.
This is the end, so thank you for coming along on this Mocha journey with us.